Say weigh in.
Whale.
What's up, everybody? Jeremy, Josh, we're back again with our next installment of what to do with random deer parts. Today we're going to be doing shanks, and shank is probably by far the toughest cut that you could come up with on a deer in terms of the meat quality and the end product. And so the cooking application that we're gonna do today is braising, which basically is very similar to boiling, but this application would work for a neck roast or a shoulder roast. So as if we can make a shank taste good, we can definitely make a neck or a front shoulder using a very similar application. And this is about as easy as it gets. Jake removed these quite lovely shanks, and I'm pretty sure you had to use a saw.
Yeah, I use the saw, but you don't have to. You can knuckle them on each end.
Okay.
It was just easier.
You want to cut any of the nasty bits off?
I mean, I would trim up just a little bit of the silver skin, but there's no need to remove all this. This stuff is all going to dissolve in the cooking process, and it'll actually make a better broth. Once we get this all cooked, you should be able to take forks and peel it apart. Make a stew with it. You could add potatoes and carrots and celery or anything like that down the line if you wanted to, and turn it into a soup. We're gonna use an Instapot, and in this case, we'll season these up, and we're using Weber's Chicago steak seasoning, which I'm a big fan of personally, but we gotta take this off or it's not gonna work. All we're really gonna do is just rub these guys a little bit so that everything is well coated. Josh, you get to play, don't worry. There you go. Just kind of press everything in a little bit. I mean, it's all gonna come off in the mix, but that's okay. Because the idea is that you don't want to totally cover and I'll show you once we fill it up in there. Next thing that we're gonna do is add Marsala cooking wine. I'm a big fan of adding wine. It's a little acidity to any of your roasts. It just adds depth of flavor, and it'll just adds another element of what's going on in there. And this is actual wine, it's just salted. That's what makes it cooking wine. Then I've got beef broth here. And all I'm really trying to do is cover, not all the way, but we're about there right now, actually. Next thing that we're going to add is a little bit of rosemary. Again, for deer, rosemary, juniper, thyme, garlic are all real natural pears. And in this case, I'm literally just gonna chuck it in there. You could add a couple of bay leaves if you wanted to. We'll really just take a bunch of it. If you want to cut it in half, that's fine. And then
some people can't keep sharp knives around here.
It's difficult. I personally like to add my onions and stuff with the peel on, and the reason that I do that is it adds color and just a little bit of depth to your stock. You're going to remove this anyway, so there's really no reason. I'm using shallots, which is kind of like a cross between a garlic and an onion. And really all I'm gonna do is cut this guy in half with the peel on, just like that. And we're gonna chuck 2 of those guys in there. If you wanted to add a carrot or a couple of stalks of celery that you would later remove, that would also be great. And I'm also gonna chuck in a couple of cloves of garlic. All this stuff will be strained out in the broth later on, which we can turn into a really awesome sauce. We have a little bit of thyme. That's a lot of thyme. We'll do. Thyme is earthy, kind of like where rosemary is piney. I would say thyme, I don't know, smell it. It tastes exactly how it smells. And then you tell me what it smells like to you, Josh.
Cow pasture.
Cow pasture, yes. We're putting cow pasture and pine trees in our lovely mix here. I'm told that an hour is a good starting point. Man, I don't even know how to use this thing. We're going to bake roast. 350 is ideal. If you're doing this in a range or like in a stove, it's probably going to be like 350 for 3-ish hours. Cover it with tin foil. Only remove it and when you're going to check it with a fork or with a knife. Otherwise, leave it covered. 60. Start. Boom. We'll come back. This is absolutely perfect. See how it's pulled? The bone is pulled loose. You can just about pull that out of there. All right, so full disclosure, if I even wanted to make these better, what I would have done is I would have seared them first in a black iron pan, and then whatever the little bits that came off we would have taken the wine and poured it into the pan and deglazed the pan and then poured that in there. That would have made like the perfect roast. So we're gonna take this guy out and we're gonna make Josh taste it. So if it's poisonous, nobody important dies. It's super
Well,
duper
it looks
duper
tender.
It is. It's very, very tender. Very tender. You could take 2 forks and just peel it apart. Pork, Josh?
What happened to the layers? They're supposed to be big, nasty, fat globules.
I know, they dissolve. There's still a little bit.
Ready?
Yeah, let's do it. There's a little more texture than I would have thought.
And it tastes just like a roast.
It does. There's nothing bad about that.
Nothing vile about it.
Nope. It's definitely not a 5.
Flavor is good, but
Flavor is good. Me personally, I kind of like the stomach flaps better. There's a little extra stuff on there that we probably could have. So moving
well,
forward,
you can't trim it out because it's like an onion.
it's totally good, and it's very edible. But like on a scale of 1 to 5, what would you give it, Josh?
If we got out those snotty bits,
Yeah, it's the connective tissue, like this, the tendons.
the bungee cord.
Yeah, the bungee. Exactly. It's good.
This.
Okay. What do you
I
think?
mean, the flavor's fine, but the texture was weird.
It is a little weird, right? It's a super duper lot of layers of muscle, very tightly woven, right?
Like I had like this one little sliver of slimy on there.
Mm-hmm. That's the connective tissue.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a 2 because of the flavor and the texture of it is great. The weird layers of slimy stuff, not so much. But I bet you the au jus is amazing because it smells amazing.
That bit's kind of sliding around a little bit.
Mr. Ron, it doesn't matter how you look. It only matters how you feel. You gotta have some of this.
Much more tender than I thought.
For as tough of a muscle as the shank is.
Yeah, it's real tender, but it actually almost like beef roast.
Yeah,
I think me and you are just snobs.
we kind of are.
Would cooking it down even more get rid of the slimy bits, or would?
You definitely can dissolve it more. Like that yellow tendon in the neck.
Yeah.
There's really nothing you can do with that. It's an elastic band. So for our next trick, we're gonna move on to organ meat. And we're gonna give hearts a try. Honestly, it's like one of my favorite cuts.
So you combine the shank with the broth, like that, like you would with a soup.
Uh-huh. Make a shank soup. Pretty good that way?
That's
All right.
pretty good.
All right. That is good. That would be the way to do it. Let's turn it into a soup. Add some potatoes, onions, celery, carrots. It would make for a really awesome stew.
Nice. Heart split.
How's the soup?
It's good. It's got potatoes in it now, carrots, little chickpea things.
And worms. Little wormy worms. It's disgusting. Soup's good though.
Shank stew.
I can feel the ligaments moving around in my mouth.
They're running, jumping, bounding.
Occasionally they're just snapping too, and you're like, ooh, that's
Yeah.
rough, buddy.